Hey everybody, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. This is Chris checking in with another video. I hope that you are off to an excellent start to your day. For those who don't know me, my name is Chris. I come from the United States. I moved back from being abroad for 7 years last year to the United States, where I'm pursuing my second master's. And on this channel, I talk about everything. I talk about China, talk about Germany, I talk about the US, I talk about culture. I'm a polyglot, I speak 6 languages, I review culture, and I also create motivational videos. So if you find any of these topics interesting, please consider subscribing to the channel where you'll receive content fairly frequently. I am just in the nature, I think I picked this up from Germany, living in Beijing for 4 years and not being around nature, and then moving to Germany where everybody goes on Spaziergänge really taught me to have an appreciation for fresh air, quiet, and nature. So here in the capital, I like to get away and think. Yeah, I'm very reflective because I just had my 30th birthday last week, folks. I just turned 30, and I've been thinking about a lot of stuff. After being abroad, I'm processing the loudness of the United States. It's a very, very, very loud country. The poverty sometimes is loud, the politics are loud, the social inequities are loud, but at the same time, the limitless opportunities are also loud. And, you know, just the possibility of just being who you want to be and becoming, you know, going from being, for example, a dishwasher to becoming the president of the United States, that's all possible in this country. So now that I'm 30, I turned 30, and everyone around me is telling me, oh my God, like your 30s are gonna be amazing, don't worry, it's gonna be amazing from here on out. And I really hope so. I really hope so because my 20s were hard and they were good. I was struggling with the identities that were forced upon me by my family, by my community, growing up in a very conservative rural hometown in Michigan. I am queer. I am also a male, I'm also African American. I feel like society has various expectations of me, and I think during my 20s I was learning to grapple with those identities and at the same time also you know, come up with my own identity. For example, what does it actually mean to be an African American? By nature of being born into this country, the legacy of slavery, I was born into this country and immediately labeled African American, Black, a descendant of Africa, which I fully embrace. But I feel like America didn't teach me how to do that, especially growing up in a rural environment that Michigan is, where it's predominantly white. I made a video a few years ago talking about why China made me care so much about my identity. This transgenerational loss of identity over the course of the last 500 years, I was able to reclaim in places like China because people didn't understand based on Hollywood and the racism, for example, in this industry where a certain type of American is typically projected to the world and shown to the world. People really didn't understand when they interacted with me as a Black person. How is it that I could be Black and American at the same time when all they have seen was white Americans? So through the frustration of trying to explain to them my identity and interacting with the Black diaspora in China, I was forced to embrace that side of my Africanness and my Blackness and root it deeply, deeply, not only in just this notion of being Black and American, but also an African. It took me until I was the age of 23 to fully come out and embrace my identity as a queer person, especially as a queer Black person. It's like a double layer. Honestly, meandering the world, especially the United States, sometimes as a queer Black male, I have learned to love myself, love the skin that I was born in, love the sexuality that I was assigned at birth. Being in a place like Germany really taught me that. It taught me to just not care. Just really don't care. It doesn't matter. You can walk down the street. Germany was the first place that I held hands with a male. It's really interesting. It taught me how to value my identity in that regard. So basically, I've been going through a process of understanding my identity, the identities that were given to me, as well as identities that I accept and I reject. I have learned to reject internalized homophobia that was instilled in me from my very conservative community that I was raised in. I have learned to accept that it is possible for me to be Christian and queer at the same time. I had to struggle. I really had to struggle. It was rough. It was very rough. You know, my parents couldn't help me go to school. In America, this is a place where, you know, education you have to pay for it. It's not like, and if you don't come from a privileged background, you have to take out student loans. Those can be cumbersome. And so I'm hoping that moving forward that I will learn to be more patient with myself and patient with the process, patient with God's plan. So folks, I am making this video to tell you that I am in a new chapter of my life. I am 30, dirty 30, darling. I am 30 years old, and I am becoming, like Michelle Obama says. I'm currently reading her book, The Light We Carry, which is really good. I highly recommend it for everybody who is young and is very impatient with themselves like me. The Light We Carry, you know, how to get through trials and tribulations and how to survive and be humble and all these things during very critical and challenging times. And yes, I want to film that. I'm 1 year away from graduating and getting back into the world. I don't know where life is going to take me, but I want to show that. I want to show you guys that. I want to show you my growth. I want to show you America. I want to show you, now I'm here in America. America will be my home for a little bit. And I want to show you, I want to review this country. I want to show you what it's like from my perspective as a first generation college student, overcomer, gay, Black, 30-year-old who has lived in various countries, and how is it that I engage with the United States now versus when I engaged in it in my early 20s. And so yeah, basically that's it. So I want to ask you folks, what aspects of your identity are shaping and forming right now in this particular chapter of your life? What do they mean to you? What do you hope to gain? What do you hope to gain? How is it that you learn to just accept things? What tips do you have for people, for example, that are struggling with acceptance, even if they're in a difficult chapter of their life, and a very uncomfortable chapter with their life? What are some tools that you can give to people to accept that and fight and utilize the tools that they have to help them make progress in that chapter that will ultimately prepare them to do something greater in the future? Hope you guys liked this video. Hope it wasn't just a ramble. I'm still learning how to use my gimbal, so please excuse me if my camera skills are out of whack. I haven't practiced in a little bit, but I am back. I am back on YouTube. I'm going to be uploading videos. I'm going to be interacting with you, and I want to know what you think. This is a channel where discussion is welcome. Feel free to disagree with me, share with me. Let's grow together. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Comment, like, subscribe, share this video if you care, and I'll see you next week. Ciao.